Vancouver Art Gallery has a new woke exhibit, and it's all kinds of messed up. And wokeness on Twitter brought this one to my attention. Vancouver Art Gallery has a new anti-white exhibit, Conceptions of White. The exhibit tells white people to stop talking, enjoy discomfort, check their privilege, and vocalize their ignorance. The gallery received $29 million last year from the Canadian government. Yes, that's right. You, as the taxpayer, paid for this. You paid for this racism in the Vancouver Art Gallery. Wow, thank your local representative for doling the cash out for this. But this is the Conceptions of White from the Vancouver Art Gallery's website. September 9th is when it started, and it's going all the way to February 4th, 2024. Conceptions of White is an exhibition offering context and nuanced perspectives that help viewers grapple with contemporary configurations of white identity. It's nuanced when it's so racist. That's what I'm seeing in this portrayal here. The exhibition examines the origins, travel, and present reality of whiteness as a concept and a racial invention that classifies degrees of civility and humanity. Select historical objects and artworks illustrate white origin myths and their historical context, revealing whiteness as a North American settler colonial invention of the 17th century created alongside blackness and aboriginality. This is a whole new writing of history. Nonetheless, there's a bunch of the epithets that we keep hearing from the woke crowd. The contemporary artists of this exhibition complicate this historical foundation by examining how these acts of radicalization are felt today through the concepts of white guilt, anxiety, supremacy, benevolence, fragility, and power. These artists encourage us to confront the ideology of cultural erasure embedded in the social construction of whiteness, the ramifications of its continually expanding borders, and the societies fostered by this relatively young theory of radical categorization. Who's categorizing anybody except maybe the people who put together this the gallery here, and a whole list of people that are contributors to this. But one of my favorites, I gotta say, one of my favorites contributing to this gallery, of course, is the one that wants to lay out a foundation using AI and facial recognition to compare you to people who have committed war crimes in the past. Yes, that's right. Here, and they have it, a video talking about it.
Jennifer Chan's Aryan recognition tool is a facial recognition software that superficially determines how Aryan you are. The tool is machine learning trained on the faces of senior officers in the Third Reich, and then it uses the webcam, takes a picture of you and outputs a percentage reading of how Aryan you are, how close you are to any of these individual
I mean, you can't make this up. You cannot literally make this up at this point. It has gotten so ridiculous and completely racist, of course. National Post writing about this. White visitors to Vancouver Art Gallery can compare their faces to infamous clinkety-clank mustache man followers from the World War II. Those bad guys. Yeah, war criminals. The exhibit also has a whiteness timeline, which documents the evolution of white and as an identity, and includes the founding of the KKK, which by the way, if you don't know the historical context of that, the KKK was the militant wing of the Democrat Party in the United States, and Canada's 1867 founding. Okay. Right. Wow. I can't believe it. But yeah, these are some of the things that were pointed out in the gallery. They have exhibits that are largely denigrating to white people and lifting up people who are non-white. One of the feature exhibits at the Vancouver Art Gallery right now is the installation framing whiteness as a force of cultural erasure, and even includes an Aryan recognition tool, which visitors are invited to gauge their visual similarity to a clinkety clank mustache man follower. And this is, you just can't make this up. But I love some of the comments here in the article down at the bottom. Remember, kids, says Brian Robinson, the Germans used this to compare facial features, much like this art exhibition during World War II to find people with hidden Jewish ancestry. They actually, no joke, they did. They used facial feature recognition. And what is this? An old cranial measurements. This is one thing, the racist history behind facial recognition. This is an article actually from the New York Times talking about how facial recognition is somehow racist, but it's not racist when they do it at an art exhibit in Vancouver. But there is racism when it comes to some of these old theories of cranial measurements, even to the point where they they would tell you if you were going to be a good husband or an unreliable husband based on the shape of your head and the front view of an honest head and face. You can't make this up. Again, Lindsay Shepherd took to her TikTok to talk about this art gallery, and she even went down there to see it herself.
Okay, so maybe you've seen this tweet about a new anti-white exhibit at the Vancouver Art Gallery. The exhibit is actually so much worse than this tweet, and I know because I went there. Predictably, it tells you to check your privilege. It puts a halo that says undeserving over your head. Stop talking, puts a mute button over your mouth. But then it gets downright schizophrenic. There's this exhibit display where it argues that because Roman and Greek sculptures had fluffy curly hair, they were not white. You are then afforded the opportunity to use the Aryan recognition tool and compare your facial measurements with the facial measurements of the leaders of the Third Reich. This
Nice
incomplete timeline of the circumstances that influence the emergence and evolution of white racial identity tells white people that their identity is all about slavery, the KKK, colonialism, etc. The last item on it is the January 6th insurrection. Anyway, go read the full thing on True North.
Yes, and I'll leave a link in the description down below where Lindsay Shepherd did an article for True North talking about this exact exhibit. Yeah, you'll have to fork over $30 as well on top of that. But I love this because this one really solidified a comedy bit that I saw a while back of none other than Ryan Long, where they compare racists with woke people and how they actually get along on so many things.
When me and Brad first met, I didn't think we'd get along, but turns out we kind of agree on everything. Your racial identity is the most important thing. Everything should be looked at through the lens of race.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke. We both have a lot of opinions about people of color, even though we barely know any.
I say colored people, but as long as we're classifying them, we both think minorities are a united group who think the same and act the same.
And vote the same. You don't want to lose your black card. Sorry, I don't know.
Okay, I'll leave a link in the description down below where you can check this out for yourself. But this is, again, it is just insane to see this happening in Canada. I mean, our Vancouver Art Gallery is showing off something that is so blatantly racist in nature. But of course, because it's anti-white racism, it's the new kind of racism that's okay, apparently. I think all racism's bad. We shouldn't have any kind of racism, especially state-funded, especially when, the Vancouver Art Gallery is funded by the taxpayer in this case. But hey, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about this and all of the things that I put forward in this video. And of course, all links are in the description down below. We'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.